behind the fall of Eve, as it is told, as it is exposed in the Genesis, what's behind the original sin that we are used to consider the beginning of the human fall in the eyes of God. When Eve opened her eyes to conscience after the bite of the apple, she understood that she was a woman, that she was naked, that she was damned to an eternal conscience of being similar to God, to be a rational, intellectual, superior beings to all the rest of the universe. Well, this kind of original sin just derives from an illusion that puts in our mind the fact that we are superior to all the rest of the creation, to all the rest of the universe around us. We are just delusional creatures that are lost in a maze of dreams and nightmares and mental constructions that push us to see us at the center of the world and of all the universe. We are just trapped in this illusion, in this conscience of being alive, of being a human, of being the sons and daughters of God. This condemns us to a life of struggling and fears and tears and perennial unfinishing pain, excruciating pain in front of our rational way of meaning the world, of seeing our living being on this earth. If you think about it, life itself is just a human construction. Every living being on this earth has no conscience of its being alive. Life as we see it, as different from all the rest of the inorganic matter, is just a human construction. And it's a human construction, even the fact that there is this pyramidal construction, pyramidal structure that see us at the top of it. We cannot see this thing rationally if we are inside our own construction. It's us who put ourselves at the top of this pyramid. This cannot be rational. This cannot be objective. The human being is just a creature that condemned him or herself to perennial suffering, just because he wants to consider himself as the best, the highest, the most noble, superior creature. And this makes the human being hysterical, psychotic, completely crazy, about his duty to stand above all the rest. A delusional being, as a man can be, just sees himself as um, condemned to show, to expose his superiority, not only to himself or to herself, but even to all the rest of humanity and to all the rest of the creation around him or her. This leads to wars and violence and insults and pain and tears and a perpetual state of instability. This is the real hell. The real hell that opened on earth in front of us, under our feet, just after we opened our eyes through the Eva's conscience. That's us who are Eve. We just made our original sin when we considered ourselves just one step above all the rest of the creation. This condemned us to a perpetual suffering that will not end until we return back to the nature, to the earth, to the mud from which we came out. We are not superior, we are not truly distinct from all the rest of the universal matter in which we formed and from which we came out just because of an act of conscience. Our conscience to be alive, to be human, to be superior, to be isolated from all the rest. This is the real sin. This is the reason of our suffering, of our damned condition of pain and suffering on this earth. So let's learn to be more humble, to feel ourselves similar to the most humble stone that we can meet on our path, and we will acquire the secret for happiness, to continue our path on this earth without suffering and without thinking we are just born to this wonderful thing we believe we are destined to. This is all illusion. This is an illusional thinking of our superiority. All this is false. All this is a sin. The worst sin we can just make, and then open our eyes to a perpetual hell. To the perpetual hell we are living just now in our lives. Thank you for listening to me, and see you in the next video.